travel has happened. Each team is on their search, and we have been given the privilege of understanding what happens to Hanumanji and his team. And so I will focus there. And he says, as they were reaching further and further south, they finally reached quite the southern regions, and any demons they saw, even Angada, every time he saw a demon, he would think he's Ravana and he will kill him. He was a young blood. He didn't know how to distinguish. And so after all that, they finally reached the southern edge and very, very tired. And they find themselves what? They are, time is slipping by. Time is slipping by, and they are, in all their journeys, they have entered a cave. And they are stuck in this cave which has forests and so on. They're not able to come out of this cave. And they look around, hey, how do I come out? Where do we go? Tired they are, time is running out. How will they return? They begin to worry, nothing has happened. At that time, an ascetic woman emerges from the cave. Her name is Swamini. She was a Rishika, a saint, an ascetic woman, Swamini. And she says that this place has water, has lot of food. It was created by Maya, this magician. There is this beautiful grove. All of you look tired, exhausted. Rejuvenate yourself with food here. And Maya was the architect of the Danavas, another celestial world. And so he has this creative power. He created this, and this grove was given to Hema, and Maya was attached to Hema. And she says, I am Hema's friend. I am the friend of Hema, and she has requested me to guard this region. And so I guard this place because I am the daughter of Meru Savarni. Hema is my beloved friend, and so please come. You have the freedom to have the food here, and tell me who are you and how you have reached here. Anyone who reaches this cave cannot come out. That's it. It's a final. You can't come out. How did you get here? And Hanumanji tells Swamini the whole story. Okay, from Sri Rama, what all happened. And they tell her, you saved us from hunger and thirst and exhaustion. Please tell us, what is it we can do for you? Swamini says, nothing. But I can do something more for you. And what is that? Anyone who enters this cave cannot come out. But with my powers, I will help, and all of you can step out. Close your eyes with your hands. So all these Vanaras with their soft fingers, they close their eyes, and Swamini's Tapobalam, she used her mantra Shakti, and this entire army, suddenly they are out of the cave. Yeah, it is like the Star Trek, So they knew how to disappear and reappear with one Tapaswini's mantra Shakti, Manobalam, Tapas, and they come out. But suddenly they realize 1 month is over. 1 month is over, and there is only one thing waiting for them. Angada says, only death awaits us. My uncle killed my father. He will not hesitate to kill us. And therefore, really, I don't want to go. I will go back into the cave. Anyway, nobody can enter this cave. I will live here rest of my life. And some Vanara say, yes, we'll also join you. Everyone goes back into depression. And Hanumanji prevents them from doing that. He talks about Angada's intelligence, his virtues, his great insights, and says, no, you can't let depression get to you. It's a nice dialogue between Hanumanji and Angada in this section. And after that, he says, we will return. Let us go back. If we don't find, we go back. Angada says, no. My uncle is a wrong person. I will not go back. I will fast unto death. All these Vanaras sit there fast, deciding to fast unto death. And they begin to talk about how it all started. How it all started with Dasharatha's death. And the whole story they are discussing. What else are you supposed to do sitting there? You can't eat anymore. You have decided to fast unto death. And so all are sitting there and talking about what led them to this unfortunate situation. And as they are talking, in their storytelling, they reach the story of Jatayu. They talk about Jatayu and Jatayu's valor and how he fought that monster when he was carrying Sita Devi away. And when they are talking all this, there was another vulture whose name is Sampati. And he was sitting there in the cave nearby and he heard these dialogues. But when he heard, he was ready to eat up all these Vanaras, because he had lost his wings. And so he found a lot of good prey has come near me. He was approaching to eat them up. But when he heard this word Jatayu, and he stopped and he asked about who is Jatayu. He tells them, do you know Jatayu? Jatayu is my brother. He's my younger brother. And he tells a story of how when the two brothers were little, they had a big competition among them as to who can fly higher and higher. Between the two, who can go closer and closer to the sun. And as they swore, they went up, and suddenly Jatayu went, but his wings began to scorch. And so Sampati, the older brother, he spread his own wing over his brother as a canopy, and instead what happened was Sampati's wings got scorched. He dropped from those heights on this Vindhya mountain, and since then he could not fly anymore, and he never got any news about what happened to his own brother Jatayu. And so when he heard the story, really he was so sad. He was so sad that his brother had been killed. He goes to the ocean. He tells them, take me to the ocean. I need to do oblation for my dear loving brother. And he goes to the ocean, does the oblations, and comes back and says, I have seen that demon carrying across this ocean. Carrying that lady who was in distress, in pain. She was calling out, Rama, Rama. And I have seen them going across, way ahead, crossing this ocean. And he tells his whole story and how he survived all these years. He has been living for 80,000 years there as a king. But he saw his own son was supporting him with food, Suparshva, and in those years he met one sage, Nishakara, who had told him that once you tell the story, there is some event going to happen, and when you reveal what has happened to the group of Vanaras, you will get your wings back. That will be the return for the good act that you do. And so Sampati wanted to die, but he waited knowing that he has some job to do. And so he tells him, he says, this prediction was given to me 80,000 years ago. I have been waiting for this day. And he declares and says, I see this place called Lanka. I see Ravana there. And Sita Devi is there. I see her too. And your work is now to go across. As he gives this declaration, the wings return and Sampati leaves that place. He soars high into the skies and moves away. And now comes the next challenge. Who is going to bell the cat? Right? Who will leap across the ocean? All the Vanaras come together. When Angada, the young prince, asks, well, somebody says, I can go, this is 100 yojana, means 800 miles, okay? 100 yojana, one says, I can cross, I can jump 10 yojana. Another says 20, another says 30. Jambavan, the king of the bears, he says, I can jump 100 yojanas, I can. But I will have no energy to come back. I will need to return to give the news of what we see there. I am too old to make that jump. And so, Angada, we know you can jump, but then the prince going is not a very good idea. He shouldn't be the first option. We should protect this young prince. And therefore, Hanumanji, do you know your strength? Hanumanji is looking at the Vanaras. Who will come forward? He doesn't know his own strength. And so, well, he is told about this story, how he was born, how he was the son of Vayu, and he was born as a child of Anjana, and so of a Vanara chief Kunjara. She became the wife of Kesari, and attracted by this wind god who had held her, the Vayu Devata. With Vayu Devata, she gets Hanumanji as her child. Hanumanji was so powerful. One day as a baby, he sees the sun, thinks it's a big red fruit, and leaps into the sky to catch this fruit for his breakfast, And that's when Indradeva throws his Vajra, his weapon, and Hanumanji's, jaw is hit. And so when he drops down, Vayu Devata is so upset. He stops doing his work and the worlds begin to go in imbalance. Everyone wants to pacify Vayu Devata, and therefore each deity gives Hanumanji a power, a boon, that you will become invincible, you will be strong, no one can kill you. All these boons were given, and therefore he is told, Hanumanji, you are the most powerful. You have to just decide to leap, and what you can do, no one else can do. And so Hanumanji hears this story and recognizes that he has the strength in him to do this, and he gets ready for his great massive leap. Tato gridrasya vachanat sampater hanuman bali Shatayojana vistirnam Pupluve lavanarnavam
Shatayojana vistirnam Pupluve lavanarnavam.
So, after Gridrasya Vachanan. Gridra is the Sampati, the vulture. So listening to him, knowing Sita Devi is there and that is Ravana's land, the great Hanuman, Bali Hanuman, Shata Yojana, 100 Yojana distance over the ocean, Lavanar Navam, Pupluve, he made his giant leap across the ocean. How did he do that? Well, he climbed this hill, and climbing the hill, as he became bigger and bigger, he increased his size. In that size, the birds all got scared and moved away. Many trees got pulverized under him. He crushed many wild animals under his feet because he had become so big that taking his step, he could not but pulverize these. Each of these animals gave up their life. Well, he walked towards the foot of this Mahendra mountain. He did namaskara to Surya Deva, to the sun god, and he swelled and swelled in size. Very beautiful description as the Sundara Kanda begins. And becoming big, he pressed the mountain down with his hand and his feet. This mountain was a sacred mountain visited by Kinnaras and Yakshas and Gandharvas. It is a sacred mountain even today. You can visit that mountain. Well, he pushed his hands and feet down, shook the hair from his body, thundered like a huge cloud in the skies, stretched his long tail, long, curled at the end, and fixing his arms on the mountain and crouching at the waist, contracting his feet, drawing in his arms and legs, he got all the energies of his entire existence into a concentrated center. He held his breath, looked at the skies, and addressed his Vanaras, his clan. And he said, I shall fly with the speed of wind to Lanka. If I do not find Sita Devi there, I will go to the heavens. If I don't find her in heavens, I will see to it that I bring Ravana back in chain with me. And if Ravana doesn't make himself available, I'll carry the entire Lanka with Ravana and other Rakshasas and bring them all back. No matter what happens, I will return with a success story. And thus, this success, the heart of success, that confidence, locking all his energies, focusing, concentrating, and declaring to the universe, the great Bali, Mahabali Hanumanji made his giant leap across the ocean.